Oh, hello, traveler. Welcome in. I just got done putting the finishing touches on this pumpkin pecan maple baklava. This is one of my new recipes that I've tried out, so I would love for you to have a piece and tell me what you think. I hope you enjoy. Can you come chop these pecans for me?
On the way, lass. Great. Such a dainty thing. This thing's too small. Cobb, I need a bigger knife. Here. Old Faithful. Alright. Oh, there we are.
Thanks, Karn.
You're welcome, lass. Moment. Hello. Oh yeah, we actually got it fixed.
Oh, did ya?
Yes.
Oh, the oven is preheating. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna snag thick with it. Oh goodness.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. No, no.
It's all good, not your fault.
I appreciate you, man. You have a good day.
You too.
You. Thank you so much.
Just doing normal, average things in our home as the maintenance guy shows up. All courses it up on a Friday. What are you doing? We just made that maintenance man today. I better have.
I mean, the way he was looking at you.
I wasn't looking specifically for that reason. I was paying attention to my baklava.
There's a look of like, oh my goodness. She got her boobies out.
My boobies aren't even out that much
They're
in this
not
one.
in this one, no.
They've been
But
out
I mean,
way
how
more in
often
other
do you
ones.
think somebody like that sees somebody dressed up like, you know?
Like in a corset, like cute little witch hat on.
Yeah.
Probably not off.
AD double door.
I love baklava and I love like making it homemade, but God, I can't do this on a daily basis.
No, baklava is probably one of the most like Mom made it once, and after that she was like, I can't ever do this.
It's not that it's hard; it's that it's
ridiculous.
tedious.
Yeah, the amount of time,
Like-
and there's no like you can't cut corners.
Right, like you have to do a layer on each. Like you can't just dump it in there and hope, you know.
Yeah, it's just gonna take some time, and that just has to be okay if you want to make baklava.
Right, exactly. So first, baklava is basically a layering of phyllo dough with layers of nuts in the middle. That's sandwiched between butter and has a really nice syrup poured over it at the end. Speaking of my syrup, can you go stir mine on the stove for me, baby?
Yeah.
Thank you. So what I did here is I eyeballed everything. There's about half of a cup of brown sugar to about 1 cup of chopped pecans because we like ours sweeter. Then it has some cinnamon and some ginger thrown in there. You can do pumpkin spice, you can do nutmeg, you can do everything you want, but I had cinnamon and ginger on hand, so we did cinnamon and ginger. This baklava is special because I'm doing a pumpkin layer in it. So I just mixed some pureed pumpkin with a little bit of maple syrup, and we're throwing that in every 3 layers. So every 3 layers there is going to be a layer of our pumpkin maple syrup mixture. We're going to do 3 more layers of the phyllo dough, and that is going to be our pecan mixture. And then we're going to do 3 more layers pumpkin, 3 more layers pecan, and then the rest of it should just be plain phyllo dough for the topping. I did brown my butter also, so it's a little bit more cooked. It has a little bit of a nuttier flavor to it. And when I say 3 layers, I mean 3 full sheets of phyllo dough. My pan is a little bit small, and so you don't need 1 sheet will fill up this pan twice, so I am just folding it over itself, which is actually perfect because that'll give us a nice thick layer of crispy phyllo dough. So we have the brown sugar, cinnamon, and ginger pecans. We have a maple pumpkin filling, and then over on the stove, we have a maple orange cinnamon syrup that's gonna go on it at the very end. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bake your baklava at 350 degrees for an hour. This is editor Emily. It's not actually an hour, it's 30 to 40 minutes. Until it is just golden brown and crispy on the top. Usually it takes an hour, 30 to 40 minutes. But that depends on oven temperatures and how hot or not hot yours is. I'm just really quickly counting my phyllo dough layers because I couldn't remember how many I did.
And you wanted this on a very low heat.
Yes, I did want it on a low heat. We're just trying to slowly melt the sugar in there. Low and slow. Because I put in about, I want to say 1.5 cups of maple syrup. I eyeballed everything, so it was either 1/4 cup of water or 1/2 cup of water. And then the same exact amount of sugar. And that's going to make up the syrup that you pour over it while it's nice and hot. And then you let it cool and the syrup really soak in. And then you have baklava.
Baklava. Be careful not to eat it too quick out of the oven or it will be baklava. So right now you're just putting butter on it, right?
Yep, and this is browned butter. So the difference between brown butter and regular butter is brown butter, the milk solids that are inside of your butter, you toast them basically. So instead of just plain uncooked butter, it toasts them as if you would toast almonds or nuts.
Okay.
Or anything like that. It gives it a nice nutty, almost caramelized flavor.
Gotcha. and the syrup over there
Mm-hmm.
has oranges in it. Is that common
Yes.
for baklava?
For baklava, it is either, I believe, lemons or oranges.
When Mom did it, she did it with honey.
Yeah, so instead of using honey, I used maple syrup, just because maple is more of a fall flavor.
Yeah, so you're kind of changing it. It's more of a pumpkin fall.
Exactly.
Kind of
If this is a fall autumn sort of thing, I just thought that because initially what I was going to do is I was going to mix the pumpkin in with the butter and put that in between each layer. But part of the reason that the butter goes in between every single layer of phyllo dough is because it makes it nice and crispy. And if I added the pumpkin in with that, I was afraid it would stop the phyllo dough from getting crispy and just keep it chewy, and that doesn't make for the best baklava out there.
Yeah, because you're trying for a crisp,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to manage to get a crisp, despite the fact of how many it's literally soaking.
Right, exactly.
It's like that should be squishy. It should
Right.
be, but it's not. Every layer, because it's so thin,
Mhm.
still manages to remain crispy.
Right, and it gets it
really
soaks up
interesting.
that syrup,
Mm-hmm.
and it definitely gets gooey, but it still has that nice texture and that crunch to it, and that's how you know you have a good baklava, if it's still just
Crispy.
absorbs all that flavor, but it still has a nice crisp to it.
Nice and crispy. That's the goal.
And then what you do with baklava too is you cut it before you put it in the oven. And the reasons for that is because it is so brittle and crispy at the end of the cooking process that you can't get even pieces out of it. But if you cut it ahead of time, the dough doesn't form back together. It stays separate, and you can just kind of peel it apart from each other.
It's just so funny because this looks just like paper.
It really does.
Or like a cheesecloth or something, you know?
Like skin.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's using a dough cutter right now, or a dough knife, which is generally used to separate out wads of dough.
This is one of the, it's also you can use it as a bench scraper if you have some dirt on your cutting board. But this is one of my favorite tools for baking.
Which is great because it's from the pizza shop.
It is from the pizza shop. But it's the absolute perfect thing to get down in here with the baklava. Do I want to cut? Yeah, I want to cut diagonal pieces, I think. So, just so it looks a little fancier. And it will come apart. That's okay.
So it's not fully go crazy like it might have at
Exactly. It's not just going to crumble apart
first. Yeah.
by any means anymore.
Yeah, you're not really cutting at that point as you are crushing.
Right. And you might need a knife for some of these
Try to cut a
corners.
chip. You know? Stack a bunch of chips on top of each other and try to cut them and see what happens.
Exactly. It's gonna fall apart a little bit because of just the layers in here, but most of the time you should be able to just press the layers back down, and it's not a big deal. These are some big pieces of baklava, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for us. So I'm going to get this in the oven.